I'd like to welcome everybody to Steve Tees Off, brought to you by Riverside Golf, Ken Poirier and the team down at riversidegolf.ca. This podcast would not be possible without Ken. And today we have a special guest, Matt Palsenbarg. Welcome back, man.
Thanks, Steve.
How are you?
Good. Yeah.
It's springtime.
Apparently.
Kind of. It's kind of cool.
It's cold.
It's kind of cool. But you graced our presence on our second podcast that we did, and now we've welcomed you back.
Yep.
Because you're a fantastic guy. You're gregarious. You're and plus, I really like what you're doing with backyard golf. I think that is very cool, and I mean that.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
I think
it's
we talk about accessibility and all that kind of stuff, and getting young people into playing golf, and that's actually perfect. Mm-hmm. It really is, because we took our grandkids there. I told you that before, and that was fantastic. And House of Golf. But we'll do a little reintroduction of Mr. Matt Palsenbarg. Bit of a legend, I think, maybe, but he's going to turn all red here when I say that. But Matt, you are a Class A PGA member. You're a golf instructor. You were at Point Grey, and we never really we actually talked a little bit about Point Grey before, but you made the transition now. You're out in South Surrey and you're teaching, right?
Langley.
Okay, sorry. Langley. And you've got a wonderful facility. I know this sounds like an infomercial, but it's really not, because House of Golf is fantastic too. Jared and the crew there, and I know you do all kinds of events there, but it's the last time I was there, I took a friend, and I'm not going to mention his name, but he was a member at the golf course that we played, and I kicked his ass.
Good.
Small victories.
Flying must be terrible.
Yeah, well, I know. You saw the way I swing the club. It's not very good, but
it's consistent.
Yeah. So let's just sort of do a brief introduction here, Matt, to yourself here, and then we'll get into some discussion points.
Oh, well, yeah. You kind of alluded to it. I'm a teaching pro. Coaching golf is what I do. It's what I enjoy doing. It's definitely where my passion is. Sometimes I wonder why I do all this other stuff, but I'm wired incorrectly, and luckily I have the patience, I think, for my own insanities. And
well, wait, I want elaborate on that. Your insanities. When you say insanities, what do you mean by insanities? Like, well, you teach golf, and you went and you had I think the conception of backyard golf was yours, was it not?
Yeah, no, it is.
And I remember the last time we were talking, and we've talked before, that you were saying, well, we'll see if this works. And I don't see why it wouldn't.
No, it's, last year it was a long, short year, because by the time we got open, it was, kind of midsummer type of thing. So, and we're still trying to identify, what it is, and taking over the par 3 course. There's a lot of work to bring a golf course back, even though it's just a 9-hole par 3. So there's a lot of work put in last year, and this spring we got to just kind of open, and a lot of the things we have going on. Now I'm teaching more because, with the transition away from Point Grey, rebuilding a clientele out back in kind of where I live and where I'm from, and
which is Cloverdale.
Yeah. So, because I was at Northview for 20 plus years, so I've really only worked at the 2 places. And then now with House of Golf, and the backyard, and kind of rebuilding the team, rebuilding programs and labsters, and kind of getting everything back on track. It's there's a lot of work. Still will be, but we have momentum in the places that I want to see it, and where the effort's been put in. So pretty excited about this year.
Talk a little bit. Let's start with backyard golf, what that is. You can talk to our listeners.
I don't want, everyone knows that the scoring is in the short game. The glory in golf coaching is always going to be golf swing, but the scoring's in chipping and putting, and accessibility to practice chipping and putting is often limited because of just access and stuff like that. A lot of the best short game facilities are private clubs, and the public ones are generally, because they're not monetized. So we've built a facility that 12 months out of the year is, in great shape. We got some crazy, some fun greens out there.
Oh, they're crazy.
Yeah. But, if you want to find a pretty flat 15 footer, it's not hard to go work on your boring stuff. If we made it boring, it would be boring.
Mm-hmm.
And, so the backyard, 22,000 square feet, which is, bigger than an ice rink. The space that we've taken over inside the old 9th hole at the Clayton Hills Par 3. We rebuilt a new 9th green, so we kind of moved a longer Par 3 into a shorter Par 3, and that enables us to coach. So for me, we've created, it's an event space, it's a practice space, it's a coaching space, it's got 4 hitting nets. It's really an interesting new concept. Like, I do believe it's a new concept because I have yet to really see.
I've never seen anything.
Yeah. So there was a lot of learning curves because, and there's, like, everyone knows what a driving range is.
Yes.
It's a driving range. We saw people like, can I come there? Like, am I allowed? And it is, it's accessible. So, and then we have, because it's artificial, the kids get to be kids. They get to run around. Like, you bring 100% kids out there and you're like, they can't do anything to this thing. Like,
that's right. They can't wreck it.
Yeah. So, and we're trying to make sure the kids know that, hey, how you act here is,
that's right.
You can't just run across a putting green. But, as the game gets younger and we want to introduce kids younger and make sure they have fun and take away kind of, we'll call it some of the stigmas around golf, which is, no running beside the pool sort of thing. Yeah. The kids really get to have a lot of fun, and juniors. And then for me, I added a lot of ladies programming. So since we talked, the ladies programming took off like a rocket, kind of blew up in my face. I kind of wanted.
So what do you have? Do you have a ladies? What do you?
Yeah. So
explain that.
At first, I just wanted to. I did want to coach women. I think, because I'm not into the high performance anymore with the juniors because, my kids' ages and stuff like that. And my preference is, I think I can help. I call them normal people, new golfers, a guy trying to fix his slice, people that really appreciate, what they can get out of 3 lessons or 5 lessons or trying to improve. But I knew I would have fun coaching women and new golfers, and especially ladies golf. And I think they've been underserved, having a hard time finding a place to go to learn. Because I think, what's the stats? Like 45% of new golfers are women, but when I meet them, they're having a hard time breaking through and feeling comfortable. And because of COVID, golf boomed, and now all the golf courses are pretty busy. Driving ranges are busy. So they really liked the backyard space. So I just wanted to get a Thursday clinic with 6 women started, and quickly it was 10 and then 12. And then I added Fridays, and Fridays I called completely new to golf. Because that was the name of it, completely new to golf. Because there was women that were messaging me and DM and emailing how good is Thursdays? Because what I've learned is a lot of the ladies' nights, even at the Par 3 courses or executives, they're for golfers. They golf. So women are struggling. Where do I go learn golf from? Nothing. This is the first time or the third time I'm holding a golf club. And a lot of facilities don't cater to that. I didn't. My whole career, I didn't cater to it. If I coached high IQ golfers that have golfed for years or looking for advanced stuff, so that ladies' night quickly blew up because women are very social, and as soon as they had a great time, and I also really wanted to coach them. So I'm pretty strict, hard on them, and give them a hard time. But they walk away with a lot of substance, and they learn stuff. And very quickly they tell a friend the next one. And like I had one night, I had the bunkers, but we used foam balls. So I had 17 women in the space just hitting bunker shots for
That's like, the other thing.
Yeah.
Those sponge balls
Yes.
are fantastic.
Yes.
They are, because you're not going to nut one.
Yes.
And like, it's not like you want to, like, and I say this, we had the grandkids there. It's a golf ball is pretty hard.
The golf ball is not forgiving. It's not forgiving. It's very honest.
Yeah.
You catch one off the ankle and it hurts.
That's right. Even off a putter.
Yeah. So, and the reality is they want to feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Like they feel uncomfortable hitting a real golf ball. So we'll use real balls in the net, and we'll use, real balls putting. But the foam balls, I could never give 17 women a bunker lesson. We have the artificial, we have the real one, and OJ, my daughter, was out there, kicking them back. I had more coaches help, but everyone's having a blast. Balls are flying everywhere. You can get hit, but you literally can't get hurt from those foam balls. 100%. And they don't leave the backyard either, because they don't fly. They go and then they stop. So, I started theming them, and Fridays was completely new to golf. So it was, and I would, everyone, we got an adult beverage when they arrived. I had some snacks out, we had some drinks, but it's like, okay, for an hour, we're going to work really, really hard and learn putting, learn chipping in a, I don't know, I consider intense way, because they really do want to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And then we socialize after, and I talk to them about stories about this, and then they ask all these questions like, what does this mean? What's that? And even I had a lot of women that were golfers, because they came with friends, and they're like, oh, don't worry about me. Like, I'm here for the social side. Like I had some really good golfers that came, and they just liked being there. And because the backyard, kind of fenced in, they felt like no one was watching them. Nobody was judging them. Like, really, we had the whole space to ourselves. And then you hear from women, it's like, I get invited to these things, but there's people around, and even driving ranges, there's people watching me and
judging them.
Yeah. And even to that point, House of Golf, to segue a little, is they like that environment too, because you're in your own private bay. No one's watching you. So when you really listen to, and I would call it genuine, like, they don't know what they're saying to me and how much I'm listening to what they're saying, like how they're just opening up, like, this was intimidating. I wasn't comfortable there. And, so it's really easy to not learn golf. It's very easy to avoid. Like, it's not hard. So pretty soon I had Thursdays, Fridays, Sunday morning, Saturdays. And, we launched it late July and early August. And I had over 80 women go through the program. A lot of them were coming every single week. And then,
fantastic.
And it was a blast. Like, it really, really was. So looking forward to this spring and getting going again. Mm-hmm. Probably Thursdays and Fridays. And then we are going to try to we have some events planned for, like, maybe once a month, a bigger party, go on the golf course. And I took women out onto the Clayton Hills Par 3. That was the first time they've ever been on a golf course. So it's a great environment for me as a coach to do exactly what I want to do, which is, you can take a new golfer, putting, chipping, full swing right there. And you can take a Par 3 course that's frankly a little underutilized and not super busy, so we can really play golf. Mm-hmm. And hopefully they graduate from that. Like, we're the bottom rung of the rung.
Well, it's like, once again, like, it's not intimidating. And the women, and I can't stress this enough, like the young kids, because I can't think of anything. Because I've thought about it a little bit, obviously, where, if you had a 7 or 8 year old, even taking a 7 or 8 year old, I've taken my grandson to Hazelmere. You kind of, okay, don't drag your feet on the practice green. Don't, you're always, there's a lot of don'ts.
Yes.
Right?
Lots. And they don't like that.
Yeah.
And,
No.
Yeah. And so like even like we have our new $99 junior membership. So it's a big goal of mine. We launched our $99 unlimited backyard and Clayton Hills Par 3, which $99 is insanely cheap.
Yes.
So the stigma of golf is unaffordable. Now, Applewood Auto Group, huge sponsor for me. I was sponsored by them in the past. I know their values as a company. I went to them. I said, this is what I want to do. I need your help because I need somebody to help make this affordable. And yesterday I was out there and all these hockey kids are signing up. So I think we've already sold. We only launched it online maybe 3 days ago, but there was already hockey teams and I'd text a couple parents and I think we already have 25, 26 kids signed up. And these hockey kids show up and I talked to a couple dads. They're like, this is amazing. Like,
yes,
we thought, what's the catch? There is no catch. And most of them have golfed 1 or 2 times. Now they're finding clubs online, but you can hear them the whole time because they're all hockey boys.
Yeah.
And they're just screaming back at other tees. And there was like 7, 8 boys all met up. And I know we're their second or third sport. So even at $99, if you know you're going to come 10 times, it's worth it.
that's right.
So do I see kids coming 5 days a week? Not particularly, but there was kids walking down the sidewalk. They live in the neighborhood. So, I'm really hoping to sell over 200 of those this year. But it was just hilarious. These kids are screaming out there, like yelling at each other because that's what they do in hockey.
That's right.
And not to say I'm not going to go out there and say, hey guys, we're a golf course.
The thing is,
we're that place.
You'll learn that though.
Yeah.
You'll learn that.
Yeah.
You learn you learn the etiquette as you.
Yeah. But I want to take away those don'ts.
Yeah.
And then when they get better and we're going to put on events and tournaments and we get to say, well, here's the protocols. Because I think if I have a couple golfers that are serious, that come on the golf course and they're like, hey, those kids are screaming, I'll be like, nah, then maybe this isn't the right golf course for you.
You're right. You're right.
Go like I taught at Point Grey. I loved dressing up. I loved tucking in my shirt and
you're measuring skirts.
Well, not
at
Point Grey. No. Point Grey is very modern. But it's nice to go to nice places. It's also nice to go to lesser nice places. Mm-hmm. And my place it's going to be cool. It's going to be a place to relax. No dress code. Like that was the other thing. The women were like, so I can literally come after work. Like I can just wear gym clothes and sneakers. Like I don't have to go buy. Because they would go to Morgan Creek and the husband would stress, you gotta dress up. You gotta get golf, which for most people, they have the outfits, but I'm like, you don't have to worry about that. Like we don't have rules really. Just normal stuff.
Well, the thing is though, that you've got the backyard golf.
Yeah.
You've got the it's accessible. You've got the par 3 course there. You can play and then you've got House of Golf. If you want to get actually, even before you go to like a 7,200 yard golf course or 6,800 yard golf course or whatever, you can go and get another feel for the game at House of Golf too. If you want to go, if you graduate to that level, you've got a natural progression is what I'm saying.
And I find simulator golf to be a wonderful environment to learn golf because, again, the intimidations are not there. They're not feeling like someone's behind them. Jared would tell you a funny story, where there was a golfer who's like, oh, we thought sim golf, you said it would be quick. And that person, Jared can look it up. It was like 42 shots on the first hole. Like I saw these 4 guys just like a couple weeks ago. 4 guys in the right bay, clearly have never golfed. Like they had a coupon. I think it was free. And they did an hour upstairs in basics. Those 4 guys did not finish the first hole.
Yeah.
But they had a blast.
Yeah.
And I looked because I was teaching at Bay 5, I look over and I'm like, wow, like, did you guys have a good time? Like, this was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, where can you go? They were like 42, 38. Like they had all taken 200 golf shots.
That's right.
Like,
And the thing is it's an excellent place if you've been a couple of 3 times before, and then you bring a friend that's never been but golfs,
yeah.
you can kick their ass because they don't know.
Yeah.
There's a learning curve, but it's not that steep.
Yes. And so we are getting that where, I know he won't listen to this podcast but there's a guy I teach who just got into golf in the last year and a half through House of Golf, and he got lessons and he plays. So his buddy set up a tee time at Northview. Well, he's never played on a real golf course. So here's your
The Ridge.
Yeah, well, I think it was the Canal, but shows up at 8:30 for his 8:30 tee time.
Beauty.
Because he's used to sim golf.
Yeah.
Like, we walk in, at 8:35. Why would I get there early? Because we know the real golfers, they like to show up a half hour early before the House Golf. Like, I got to get warmed up. And he brings like 2 golf balls. And he thinks if he doesn't like it, he gets to drop another ball and hit it. Like, so he's like, and then it was like an 8:30 tee time, and he scheduled a 10:30 meeting. He didn't know golf was like 4.5 hours. He thought it was, so he thought, simulator golf was
Real golf.
Which it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great supplement, but it's not trying to be real golf.
Yep.
I love it because I can play 18 holes in 40 minutes.
I've seen it. Like,
I can rip through real easy. But there's a guy who learned golf in a simulator. He's now a golfer. Like, I teach him, he hit 260-yard drives, and now going on the golf course and has no idea the protocols, no idea like what to do. And it didn't check in, didn't pay, he didn't know anything. Like, and his buddies didn't know. He was like, you're a moron, buddy. Yeah. He's like, but no, like, he really didn't know. You didn't know, right? I find that hilarious. So you can, like, making golf accessible. We lose, a lot of golfers lose sight how intimidating it is if you don't start when you're 8 or 15. And so if I can get those 200-300 kids through Clayton every year, just tons of kids. Like, I have high schools that are going to sign up 20 kids, social programs.
You're doing a program called First Tee too out of there?
Yeah. So the First Tee is Golf Canada. Okay. It's taken it on. The First Tee is one of the largest, very large organization with PGA of America and all that stuff. So, I love the values of the First Tee, but they kind of run independent. Okay. So I think the First Tee's values and their programming suited our facility, and I approached them. I wanted them there because they sprinkle around. There are like 20 something facilities in BC, and they make it affordable, and they try to raise money. So we're now part of the Golf Canada Foundation. So if somebody wants to donate money to call it our facility, it is to the First Tee. So if a family comes and they can't afford the $99, great, we'll cover it. We'll cover it. Yeah. Probably would anyway. Yeah. But the First Tee, because we have our Labsters Junior program, which is, junior development tournaments, Operation 36. The First Tee is where a lot of kids will start, and they approach it the proper way, which is the values of, leadership and all these things that golf does cover. And that's the First Tee's mandate. So I really want to grow. Like, Surrey, Langley is booming. Like, it's just the population. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean everyone's thriving though. That's true. So making golf an outlet, affordable. I love the values of golf, everything that comes with golf. Where's soccer and hockey, and these are sports where you're trying to get away with penalties without getting called. And golf you call it. Yeah, you call it. So we'll have the First Tee start in late April. Sahil, who's my new coach at the backyard, he's going to take that on. And then the First Tee kind of works with volunteers. Like, you could be a First Tee coach, community coach. So it allows volunteers to be trained and facilitate at a facility. And it's a lower cost. So the cost barrier is down, and we want to host them. and make it affordable for them. And
which is that's like I don't need to blow sunshine up here. Like I'm talking. It addresses the that elephant that they know it's around. I want to get my kid into golf, and how do I do that? And you've got like the other thing that's say you've got golf clubs there too for little people that want to come and play. You've got USA Golf.
Yep. Yeah, we have clubs.
Yeah, and that's also the barrier to entry is it's money. Like it always is, and people, like you said, everybody's not doing well. Like it's not like, but it's accessibility. And I use my own example when we went there. Like, am I going to go out and spend $300-400 for a set of clubs? No, I'm not. But you had the clubs there. You've got and the softballs, and you can go back the ball around, and see whether or not and that's a good thing.
Yeah, and I go on Facebook Marketplace and I look for deals and I go buy them.
Sure.
Just to make sure when a parent, contacts us, like, do we need equipment? It's like, no. And the other reason why I like Operation 36, which is a great program, is it starts at 25 yards. So the events we host on the facility, it's hard to host on large scale facilities because, you walk to 25 yards and you got to walk over to hole 2 at 25 yards. Yeah. Well, you're walking a whole golf course.
Yeah.
Whereas our little 9-hole, like, they're done in an hour. They can actually do it in probably 50 minutes because it's so quick to dart around. So you really just need a sand wedge and a putter to start. We don't need drivers. Like, we don't have a driving range, but 6-year-olds don't need to hit a ball at a 300-yard long driving range. They like it, but they also like hitting nets.
Yeah.
They just like whacking the ball. Yeah. Like, give them a foam ball and an 8-iron, and they can't hit it more than 30 yards. So we're good. So yeah, like so BC Golf's coming in, Applewood's helping. This year I will definitely grow the corporate side, the community side. I'll start peppering golf courses, and I phone one of my buddies at one of the private clubs because I'm like, hey, see what you're selling. Can you give it to me? Because I'm doing what I know to be passion project is what you call it.
Well, it's like this podcast.
There is an economic engine to cutting grass on a par 3, and we need golfers to come and pay the bills.
Sure.
But I feel like I can do both at the same time, grow the game of golf, and I think it'll get noticed in the ways that I hope it gets noticed, which is support and help. If a facility like mine can't survive, we'll call it survive, where are kids going to learn golf? Where are all these people that I'm now meeting, these women and kids?
Where are they going to play?
They just avoid it.
Yeah.
So you're kicking a problem down the road that I think could bite the golf industry.
You're right.
Even right now, like, I look at how many pros are currently in the association because I've been coaching a long time, that I coached as juniors and they're pros now. Well, I don't do high performance anymore. And I don't run an elite junior golf program. That there's a lot of good pros around that came through that program or programs like mine. So out of these 200-300 kids that I can get into this membership, there might be 5 or 10 of them in 10 years that are real good golfers, and like, they'll move on from our facility. They'll go to Newlands, Guildford, Northview, Morgan Creek, all those things. But and every year I'll have a new crop of 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds and 8-year-olds, and then teenagers that are just, okay, now I'm gonna, because golf is still quite cool. It's cool in high school, different from when I was in high school. So it'll take a village, and I'll have my team of coaches and myself doing what we do. And, for me, it's coaching. That's my element. But I'm out there cutting the greens and cutting the fairways and
the thing is, the beauty of this though is that like, when parents come and they bring their child, it's not like it's not, because I coached hockey in Cloverdale.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
a lot of parents would just come and drop their kids off, and you were kind of like a babysitter with
Yeah.
that. That's the way. And you're not, when you're teaching, when a 7 or 8-year-old or 9-year-olds come into golf, it's not babysitting. They're actually,
Yeah, we don't see the membership getting a 7-year-old dropped off and they play, but we hope to do some stuff where, they partner up and maybe one parent and 4. Right now the memberships are definitely heavy in that 10, 11, 12, 13. They can get dropped off, hockey players. Like, it's a pretty safe place.
Yes.
We've created a safe.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like it's, where your kid is.
Yes.
Too.
Yep.
Like you know who your kid's going to be hanging out with too. Mm-hmm. It's not like they go into a dressing room and they're, and then they come. Yeah. It's a different vibe. It's a completely different vibe.
Yeah. And, where we are located, location, like I live 5 minutes away. SkyTrain's less than a kilometer from where this golf course is. And, it is a booming area right on Highway 10, busy road. So yeah, it's nice to revitalize. That's where I first golfed as a kid. And then I played a lot at Surrey Golf Club, and that's where the kids will go. They'll go from our facility to the Willows at Surrey. Then they'll go to the main course, and they'll move on up, and become lifelong golfers. So, and most of the pros I reach out, they're like, oh yeah, that's like when I grew up and I started here, there, like you're right. Like everyone has their starting point story. Most golfers are like, this is where I started. There was this old, cigarette smoking pro and back in the day, or it was this, or it was that. But, it's a lifelong sport and you have to start somewhere.
That's right. So. And it's, I couldn't, like I was, thinking about this, and I have thought about it a lot, is that the accessibility, where would you take, I've said this before, we've gone to Hazelmere, you can't go to Morgan Creek anymore. You can't go to Northview with a little, like you gotta have a tea time.
Yeah. And I'm not against that either, because they do what they do well.
That's right.
And I love going to Morgan Creek, and they have their role and responsibility. They brought the PGA Tour Americas there. They host big corporate events. But trying to, I do hope those facilities will notice my facility and say, how do we help?
You're in
because I can't. It's going to be a challenge. It's a challenging business to be in. I say running the cheapest golf course in the Lower Mainland. A lot of the pitch and putts in Burnaby, Vancouver, they're owned by the city.
Yeah.
They're offset by taxpayer dollars and parks. So I'm running a very affordable park. And luckily that's why Applewood stepped up. And as I prove more kids are coming, that's easy for me to go to, the companies, the Riverside,
that's right.
And say sponsored. Yeah. We like, I have signage coming up in the facility. Like BC Golf really wants to help. Matt Steinbeck him and I have had some great chats about, getting everything going and having them be a part of it. They were just out there the other day. He brought his team out. They played the par 3 and they love community golf. Like who doesn't like a little community golf course? It's like a dive restaurant that has great burgers, and the pubs there is really good too. So it's been very fun. I live close by. It's been a big passion project. I do like working hard. I do like being busy. This has been very invigorating for me. Overwhelming at times, but definitely it's nice seeing these kids, like even yesterday when I was teaching on the backyard, hearing these kids scream out there, and it's very fulfilling for me. I don't think to go run and say, be quiet. I'm thinking like, this is awesome.
It's great.
Like they're out there.
Yeah.
They're going to become golfers.
Yeah.
And they're having a great time. What else would they be doing?
Yeah.
Video games in the basement. Like,
that's right.
I don't know. So either way, I'm giving them a place, and parents' place with a pretty low cost solution. So.
Okay. I'm going, there's a burning question that I have here. And you're a PXG guy.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
How did you become a PXG guy?
Um,
And because I went down to the PGA show in Orlando,
mhm.
and and I heard of PXG before, but I didn't really delve into it, and I didn't realize that it was the GoDaddy guy,
Yeah.
and how because they don't pay a lot of players on the tour to use their.
Yeah, they're bigger on the LPGA, actually. They do a lot for college golf.
Okay.
Yeah, they're different. Yeah, they're a different company because it's owned by one guy.
That's right.
It's just his company.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to follow the rules. PXG's been a pretty big disruptor
Well, Parsons
Disruptor?
Extreme Golf, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you?
Well, the simple answer is when I was leaving Northview, which was the Titleist facility, I kind of had an opportunity to, what brand do I want to play? And the old Titleist rep was in charge of PXG Canada. And for me, it's who do I want to have lunch with and spend a day with? So
You like them?
and oh yeah, Will Norton's just awesome. So, and there's great reps around and different brands have different deals and different this, and not to say I don't care what I play, because I do. I still take great pride in that I know how to hit a golf ball around the golf course, and I wouldn't play a product I didn't like. But PXG was, I think there's maybe only 4 or 5 pros in BC that plays PXG. I kind of like that.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I like that exclusivity, so to speak. They don't just take anyone, where some brands have a lot of pros. So yeah, it was a choice. I like Will Norton. He was a good buddy of mine, and we had chatted in the past, and I liked what PXG was doing and how they were going about things. So it was a good decision for me. I've enjoyed my partnership with them. They come to House of Golf, which has nothing to do with me, frankly. It was they wanted a place to do fittings, and we suited what they needed. So they just pay to come to House of Golf. That's their
What you do with Title. You'll do what
Titleist counts. Jared's a Titleist pro. So yeah, it was, and I'm still with them, and they just do things a little different, which I kind of liked. It wasn't very cookie cutter. It was, Will and I would meet, and it's a small team, and I can kind of contact one of the 3 people that I talk to and do some neat things with them. So
how do they sell their golf clubs? Like they direct to consumer?
yeah, so some would say they're circling back to be normal now, but when they first came out, they were expensive.
Yeah,
like they disrupted by
I
saying,
remember that.
Yeah, like they were just really, really expensive and cool. And it was kind of Bob Parsons saying, I don't care what the club costs, make the best club possible, because he's a billionaire.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to prove a bottom line to anybody, whereas most of the club manufacturers are publicly traded companies. So they have to bring out a new line every year. So like this year, that was the first time PXG ever went to the Orlando show. And for a lot of years, they said they would never go to that. So they have PXG stores. Their clothing brand is very high end. So they really do like direct to consumer. So they're not in, they are in Golf Town now.
Okay.
But you won't inventory PXG. There's a lot of green grass, we call it, pro shops. You have to buy minimums. So, in a normal club, okay, you got to order $20,000 of this, and then you get a pro, kit. Here's your set, and some of them are send them back at the end of the year, whatever. PXG just wasn't that way. They wanted to fit their consumer. They wanted the person to come, and you got fit by PXG, and which is kind of like Titleist is at Northview. So if you want to be fit by Titleist, you go to Northview, and that the person that's fitting you is Titleist. Like you're getting fit by them. And TaylorMade's at UGC. So there's some hubs around that are that. But PXG, for the most part, didn't really sell through a whole lot of pro shops. They were not interested in being in every private club. They just thought, oh, well, if we're in one, if somebody wants our product, they'll find us, they'll buy it. But they weren't trying to mass sell golf clubs. I think when COVID hit, they seized the opportunity with inventory levels and a different way of doing business that you can only imagine. When you go into Riverside, there's a lot of drivers and wedges sitting there. So if one of those manufacturers say, oh, we want to drop the price of a wedge $20, imagine how many credits you have to do. Like how many things you have to do, how many steps. It would be tons. Whereas PXG can go tonight, change the price of their driver tomorrow, and then in 3 days, put it right back. They can do a sale right now, and it doesn't affect anyone because it's kind of like they only do custom suits. They don't, you're not really going to go into you might find their putters and maybe some wedges, but you won't find their driver just sitting there ready to be bought today. They're a fitting experience. And then down in the States, they have a lot of PXG stores. So they sell their clothes and stuff like that. So yeah, I like the brand. I really love the clubs. I've played well with them. I got my new clubs. I haven't really used them. I love my old set. You know, I've really enjoyed every product that they've come out.
Did you get to meet the GoDaddy man?
No, I never, because when I went there and then COVID hit and Willie and I never got down to Scottsdale. Yeah. Because I'd love to play Scottsdale National.
Doesn't he own a couple of golf courses down there too?
Well, he bought Scottsdale National, or a very prestigious private club down there, and then he made it more private. So it's one of the very much the high end.
I didn't realize this. I've driven by because we own a paper in Yuma, Arizona. I'd fly into Phoenix. And I always drive by the GoDaddy building. Yeah, that big, massive.
Yeah, like he has an office. My understanding, he has an office on an airstrip because he just flies in and out, and it's his company. Yeah, you know, he gets
that's right.
It's
can run it how like he wants it.
Yeah, which not a lot of companies. No, it's a large company run like a small business. Yeah, and you don't see turnover in their staffing.
Well, I think he only has 70 or 80 employees.
Yeah, it's
pretty lean.
Tight. Yeah. Yeah. And even in Canada, I think there's really only maybe 7, 8 pros or you know.
Well, that's what caught my attention because I'm not that I'm a brand tire biter or whatever it is, but you know, I do play, you know, I play ping, but that's just, you know, and whatever. But I look at, if you've ever looked at the financial statements, the annual report of one of these, like Callaway or what's the Acushnet, that's the title is, and the amount of money that they spend on promotion on the players, it's just phenomenally huge. Yeah, it is. And that's why I look at it. And how do you break into the equipment business in golf?
It helps being rich.
It helps being really rich.
Yeah, it helps being a billionaire.
Yeah,
and really helps. And yeah, you'll never see those financials. Yeah, because they're on his desk.
That's right.
So, you know, I'm not a big gearhead. I'm just not. I'm not fascinated by golf equipment. Never was. So I like my clubs. I have no need to change. I'm friends with the Ping rep, the Callaway rep, the Titleist rep. Like, of course, I phone them all. They all reply. Yeah, they'll phone me back, which is good. And you know, because the golf industry is great. Yeah, it just is. You're learning that. Yeah. Like everyone is awesome. Yeah. It is a family. Everyone knows everyone. Everyone's friends. Everyone can win. It's not I didn't pick PXG because I didn't like this person or that person. I picked PXG because I really like Will Norton, and him and I like having pancakes, you know, every few months. And that was what's important to me.
The relationship.
Yeah. You know, I had a great relationship with him. So yeah, I would play lots of, I think golf equipment right now is amazing.
Oh, it is.
It is. Like, it's
crazy.
Everything's really, really good.
Yeah.
Like, compared to a little dud here. These aren't the best. It's like everything's really, really good. Like,
Yes.
and I don't know where they go from here.
I don't either.
If they roll back the ball,
Well, they are. But
yeah.
Isn't the ball changing next? Is it next year?
I'm not one to pay attention.
But I went down a rabbit hole a couple of weeks ago and reading that and going, oh, geez, I didn't even know that they were changing. Were they changing the amount of dipples of the ball or something? Because
they're always tweaking.
Whatever.
No, they're trying to change the compression. I don't know. But I think there's. I remember watching the AT&T when Rory was winning, and he cut the corner. I'm not good with which holes, but he cut the corner and just drove it to like where his 6-iron in. And here we're watching Rory winning at Pebble on TV, and sometimes this is my complaint with golf, and Jim Nance is like, oh, something's got to happen. Like, he kind of complained because here's Rory cutting a corner with a magnificent drive, like over the tree. Now it's OB's 20 yards right. He can hit it, snipe it left. He can hit it bad too.
Yeah.
He risked everything, goes over, hits a 6-iron in, and the commentator complained because they're just the golf ball rollback. I don't know. They're trying to protect par. They're trying to get these classic courses to not be eaten up. But Rory's just so good. Like, what sport would the announcer
say that
complain? Oh, somebody just got a world record. Something's got to change. Now, maybe swimming with the swimsuits was like, if Usain Bolt was faster, would they make him wear flip-flops?
No.
Like, no, they're like, let's figure out how to slow these athletes down. Like, the equipment, I agree, it's great, the golf ball, the club, but let's be honest here. These guys are athletes now.
Oh yeah.
And we're, because Tiger brought so much money into the game, the athletes pick this sport over other sports because there's money in it.
Lots.
Where the best athletes would go NFL and baseball and
now you don't have to get hit in the head.
Yeah. And Ohtani could have been a great golfer, but I think he made a good choice. But it's Rory is a supreme athlete, and he absolutely dominated, yes, a par 5 on a classic golf course where not long ago you had to play it out left and maybe cut it and hit a 3-wood in or something, and he's hitting 6-iron in. And
well, this will be released in a couple of weeks, but we're taping this on the Players is being played this weekend.
Yeah.
And I spent last night watching the 18th hole. Guys completely like ass can themselves, hitting the ball into the water, left or right into the trees, and then sculling one into the water across the fairway.
Yeah.
And, I look at it, and after I watched it for 32 minutes, I was going like, I'm pathetic, but that's what people, it's like going to a car, like a NASCAR race or F1 or whatever. You want to see the crash.
Yeah.
And you see like these guys just completely like pump 2 into the water or 3 into the water. And there was quite a few like good players that didn't make the cut.
Yeah.
That did that and just, and that fairway was so tight.
It is. And I think that's where architecture has changed the game. I think there was a long era of Tiger proofing the game.
Yeah.
And all that did was favor Tiger.
Yeah.
Like Aaron Hills, you make something 7,600 yards and bombs away. Well, Players is still really good. Like we're not seeing that much architecture. So Pebble Beach, yes, they're so much better, I think, at golf. That's why the scores are going down. But the greens are still super tiny out there.
Yeah.
Just recently, like the stats were released that the putting stats are worse. And that's a whole conversation of, are the pins tougher, this or that, green. But the greens are better, the equipment's better, the athletes are better, and yet they're not making more putts.
Yeah.
The whole aim point and all these things, like green reading, like it's all out there. And you would think they're getting better, and they're just not.
They're not.
Golf has a great way of managing itself, we'll say. Mm-hmm. But the best player, you roll back the ball, the best player will win.
Yeah.
You make greens small, the best player will win. When you make greens big and courses long, the longest hitters, like if they took the NBA and they raised the hoops, moved the 3 points, circle back. What are we doing? Like, that doesn't make sense.
Mhm.
Like, I like hockey when they dial back the pads on the goalies
Yeah.
because that was getting a little aggressive. But what are we protecting?
Mhm.
What's wrong with seeing a pro shoot 63 at a course that 67 used to be good?
Mhm.
They're better.
Yeah.
I know the equipment's better, but I think they're better.
Yeah.
And like, that's what I like about Fraser's tour, Vancouver Golf Tour. Like, it's nice seeing these guys shoot 64, 65. Too often my complaint, and I think it would be Fraser's too, is he gets to some of these venues and the superintendent goes and tucks every single pin and puts the tees back. It's like, and then the low score is 70 on and it's like, and then the average golfer's like, oh, well, my buddy, he shot 73 out there. Yeah. Playing the whites with, Friday pins.
Yeah.
So, when Fraser gets to control the setup and set it up properly, like, these guys are really good.
Yeah.
Like, and producing future players, and love what Fraser's doing and the Vancouver Golf Tour, what it's done for local golf and giving an outlet for local pros and amateurs, right? Just
Well, we've
golf
got
fans.
like we had a sort of it's going to be released in a couple of weeks or in a week or so. We had Luke McKenzie and his son Maxim.
Yeah.
That's a golf name, Maxim McKenzie.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Well, Luke doesn't mess around.
hey, that's the first thing I said. I said, man, that's a golf name.
Yeah.
That's Maverick McNeil, man.
Yeah.
Gotta go. That's you got to play, man. You got to play.
Luke, I have all day for Luke. I don't know Maxim well because I got kind of out of the loop with all that. But Luke's just such a beauty, such a great guy.
Oh, he was fantastic. He was fantastic.
He's one of those guys that just loves golf and epitomizes being a golf pro. And obviously his son, it wore off.
Yeah.
Right. If you're going to do something, you do it.
Yeah.
And Luke's such a great guy, and just, I have all day for that guy.
Well, I'm excited because there seems to be, maybe it started with, AJ's playing on the tour, but there seems to be a crop, and maybe it's just because I'm doing this podcast now, but I see a lot more kids coming up that have, like, it's not like, oh, Jesus, that's a Canadian.
Yeah.
Got some players now.
Yeah.
And this is the only place in Canada where you can play golf here. I was driving, I was going to the dealership to bring my vehicle in on Friday, and it was snowing out. It was the MB dealership on 104th, and I'm driving down 152nd. It's snowing out, and there's guys out at Guildford playing.
Yeah.
It's like it's 8:30 in the morning, and I'm like, Jesus.
I taught one of those guys because he's like, the first two holes was snowy, but it cleared up after that.
I was just doing one of the head turn and going, holy crap.
Yeah.
So, but one of the things I didn't, the last time I think you were on, well, you were my second guest, which I appreciated.
Which means we really didn't know what you were doing.
That's right. I still don't, Matt.
You squeezed a lot of talent out of you.
That's right. You did. But one of the things I did not ask you was what was the funniest thing that you've ever seen on a golf course? Because you've played a lot of golf, or the craziest thing that you've seen on the golf course, maybe playing a tournament or just seen it.
Craziest thing. I've seen lots of things. But my funniest story, I would say, that goes way back is, and very few people would even know this, is I caddy for Mac O'Grady. And I don't know if you know
I know
all the stories. And that was his peak time. So it is a bit of a longer winded story, and I have all the time, but it's, so Mac was at the Greater Vancouver Open. So he's up there for the PGA Tour event, and I worked at Northview as a kid. And earlier that day, he had come in. I don't know Mac O'Grady from a hole, no idea. I'm like 14 years old or something like that, maybe 15. And he comes in and he was complaining the lockers weren't big enough and all this stuff. And we're out on the golf course, and I'm filling divots with green sand mix, which was like a new thing to get it ready for the PGA. And we're just driving hole to hole. And Mac was out there practicing because the course was closed and it's only pros out there. And he walks up to me and he's like, smell this divot. And I didn't know this guy's a Looney Tune. Like, and he's a great guy. But the stories are true. Okay, he's like, smell this divot. I'm like, what? Like, he's like, smell this divot. I smelled it. He's like, 1 out of 10. How does it smell? I'm like, 6? He's like, at a 6.5. That's pretty good. No clue. Like, if this guy's just messing with me, but actually, now that I'm a golf pro, like, you can smell good grass or bad grass. Like, there's a smell to it. There's a healthiness to it. So he found me after that round and needed a caddy because his caddy couldn't get across the border because back then I don't think he understood what the border really meant. And this guy had a passport or whatever. I think he had a pass that he just couldn't get through the border.
Okay.
So he asked me to caddy for him for the tour. And Chris Hoy, the head pro, he's like, all right, well, you got Monday, Tuesday off, and I don't think you'll last to day 3. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? Because, I worked there, and he's like, go for it. I didn't know Mac was notorious for like firing caddies. So I'm out there, and man, I was bored. Like, he had a Looney Tunes bag that weighed 80 pounds, and he's teaching Curtis Strange, Sandy Lyle, Chip Beck, Tommy Armour III. Like, I'm just bored of him. And now as a coach, I'm like, oh my God, I got to stand there and watch Mac O'Grady teach for 8 hours. All I was thinking is like, and he never practiced. He just taught the whole time. He was a full-time teacher playing the PGA Tour at that time. And we were late for the prom. We get out there, he chunked a chip. He blamed me because the club wasn't clean or something like that. And he'd already fired me by the end of that day. But the practice round was Sandy Lyle, Chip Beck, and Tommy Armour III at this time. And it was incredible. So I caddied for 2 days, and then he fired me at the end of that day. But he paid me like $400 US cash, which was like insane.
Won the lottery.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, that was pretty amazing. And I go to Chris and I'm like, hey, I can work tomorrow. He's like, I figured. So he had in the pro-am recruited one of the kids, and and that kid lasted, I think, the day of the next day, and then he had a different caddy, and I don't know, it was just a debacle. Then that winter, I actually went to Palm Springs first time. I'm in a Vaughn's grocery, and I get this tap on the shoulders, Mac O'Grady. I turn around, and he hands me $10. He's like, go buy yourself a hot dog. Like, what are the chances of running into him? And then not. And then the next year, I'm in Northern again. He's there. He's on the range, and he sends, I can't even remember. He sends a tour pro over there, and I'm like 15, 16. I grew. Mm-hmm. And I guess his caddy was late. He saw me and sends a guy over and is like, hey, can you caddy today for Mac? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I'll caddy today. I walk over. Now I'm the same height as him. And he's like, oh, I better not fuck with you like I did last year. Because now that reminds me, he did it when we played in the Pro-Am. He was messing with me the whole time. He's like, I'd say, hey, Mac. He's like, nope, call me Mr. O'Grady. I call him Mr. Nope, call me Mac. All frickin' day. All frickin' just like, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I was so naive. I didn't know he was just absolutely messing with me.
Yeah.
All day. But he paid me off. And he gives me, on the range, he gives me $300. Like, that's for the day. And I hope you don't walk away too early. But I won't give you a hard time this time because it looks like you can kick my ass.
Fine.
But like, it was, that's kind of my crazy story. And then years later, I connected with them. I've had a lot of like long phone calls with him because I became a teacher, and we've met up in Palm Springs, and he sent me video. And then I learned the Morad and the infamous, he's kind of the grandfather of modern instruction. Yeah. He's amazing instructor. And I just look back, I'm like, damn it. Like, I just wanted him to tell me to leave, and he's teaching Curtis Strange. I don't even think I understood Curtis Strange, like USO, like all lost on me.
Yeah.
So my funniest thing is kind of that, like being around the PGA backgraded, the odds of meeting him, how I met him, like the divot story of how it smells.
That's a very cool.
I'll make sure Chris Anderson, the old pro at North Hugh, like here's this one because he thinks it's just unbelievable because there was witnesses to all this insanity.
Yeah,
like it wasn't just me.
That's a cool story.
And having the PGA Tour event there was like it was awesome.
Yeah,
like it was
very cool.
It was wicked.
Well, on that note, we're gonna wrap things up here. And you're very, very active on social media. Like, well, you are.
I go in sprints. I go in sprints.
Instagram, you get, and a shout out to Backyard Golf. It's Backyard Golf. What's the URL?
The backyard.golf. And then the websites, we changed it from .golf because Google doesn't like .golf.
Okay.
Just everyone, if you go to .golf, Google doesn't like you.
Okay.
So it's the backyardgolf.ca now.
.ca. And if you're looking to sim golf, it's the House of Golf too.
Yeah.
You've got that going. And the programs that are coming up, spring's coming up, summer's coming up. Yeah. Check Matt Palsenbarg out and what he's doing, and you're making golf accessible to young people and to ladies, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
And I thank you for coming out today. I know you had other things that you've got to do with your family, and that's cool.
Oh yeah.
And I think you're doing a great thing. I really do. And I appreciate
you too.
Matt.
You too. It's great.
Well, I'm doing it because I'm passionate about it.
Yeah.
Like anything.
I thought you were getting desperate when you phoned me again.
No,
man,
I wasn't.
Who do you need? Like, I'll get you someone.
No. But I'm. This conversation goes on every week. We do one every week now.
Yeah,
and that's fantastic. And I appreciate you, man.
I'm coming back for a third.
You betcha, buddy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, right on.
Awesome.